Speedy. Yes. I'm slow.
What's that?
Get started this evening. Folks here have a form. I appreciate everybody coming. We'll go ahead and call the meeting. Running a little bit late. I know there's some of us that's got some more meetings at 6 o'clock, so we'll push them up front. And so if we would, Kenny, if you don't mind saying an opening prayer for us, and then we'll put the pledge of allegiance. Thank you, Kenny. We've got 7 minutes there in front of you. I hope you have time. We've been coming in the back to look at it. If you have, or we'll entertain a motion to approve it.
Move to approve.
Got a motion, got a second? Got a second, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, I appreciate it. Now we'll go ahead and turn it over to Larry Johnson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good to see everybody here tonight. If we want to go ahead and move Sue up, because I think she's got to go, I'll do my thing later on. Sue?
Has some lights.
Yeah.
We are up about 110 cars over last year, so we're having a really great year. We open tomorrow night, Thursday night, I'm sorry, the 18th, and we'll be open until the 31st. We've had calls from almost all across Tennessee, from Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky. People have seen it on Channel 4. We did a special live advertising on Channel 4 along with Historic Lebanon. They paid for part, we paid for part. So we were on their midday show. We were in the Thanksgiving tabloid that came out Thanksgiving Day. And then Chad Bernard having his show, Fight for the Lions, whatever it is. That is kind of thing, that's a lot of publicity also. We've had people call that have seen his show that he was on and asked about, is there anything else here to see? So we've got people coming from everywhere this year to Professor Lions, and the workers that have been working at the state, they've been really busy. And I hope you've noticed we moved it to the Orange Gate. The entrance is now the Orange Gate, and that is working fantastic. In the signage, we are going to put a sign up tomorrow that we do not take credit cards, because we were asked that this past weekend. But it's just, we just can't do credit cards, so it's just cash or check. But it's going great, good year. Thanks to Larry and all his guys for getting all the lights and everything out, and Donna answering all the calls. We really do appreciate that. So this event is growing each year, and it's a great way for Wilson County to give back to the community and surrounding counties and states. So thank you.
What's it cost to go?
$5 per car. We haven't gone up since the first year we had it, and when people call, they're really shocked at that, because the others are $30, $10, $15.
Anything else? I know he's got to get out of here too. So, at our last meeting, you all remember that we had the chairman appointed a couple of committees to look into some things. One of those committees was Kenny Rich and Kenny, who was on there with you?
Sonia and Terry Scruggs, along with you and Don.
Okay. Would you like to give a report about what you all did?
Okay. I think you have a copy in here, and last year we kind of fell a little behind on this, and I know the Wilson County promotions have not got a final figure yet on what they're going to do this year, and what, y'all are going to be able to help Ag Center do. But we want to go ahead this year and, get this done in a timely manner and put it out there of some things we would like to see done. And like I said, I had Sonia Robinson and Terry Scruggs, and we met with Larry and Don one day, and Greg was in there, and we kind of looked at some things, and we have got these prioritized the way, needed. And as you well know, those that don't know, the stalls, one thing, will pay for the sale. We get money back in the stall. We rent these when we have the beef aggravation, and I know we'll steal somebody's thunder on that in a minute. But anyway, that and the horse shows and everything else. How much they rent for, Larry? What does the stall rent for?
$15.
$15 a day, a night. So, you know, when we got more stalls, that's more money we got coming in, more money we can do. Paving is number 2 thing. The restroom, we looked at the restrooms down here, the one down by Larry's office down from it, the other one's getting in bad shape. Needs to be enlarged, or really it needs to be in a whole new restaurant. So we put that down, and one other thing was additional bleachers, and that would come in handy. So that's the things that, when it comes to, you know, February, March, whenever you close the books, see what we got, that's things that we would like to see done. Questions?
What status on the new entrance?
Pardon?
The new entrance,
Oh,
paving or whatever?
Jeff, you want to address that, you want me to address that?
It's, no, it's, I mean, hell, James, Terry, or somebody might address it.
I would agree that you were saying.
I don't know,
You were
Jerry.
asking about the new entrance.
About the back of shop,
We'll address that in a few minutes, or we can address it now, whatever.
Let's just wait until it comes that time.
any other questions for Kenny or any other committee members? Sonia, you got anything you'd like to add to that? Terry's not here. Like Kenny said, we sort of prioritize the things that we were looking at here. But if memory serves me correct, that restroom up there, it's about the next to the oldest one we go. I mean, it is the oldest one we got now, since we've replaced the one down in the front. So my suggestion on that would be if we do decide to do that, we just tear it down and build from the ground up. It needs totally refurbishing there and starting all over again. We're always can use more bleachers. Of course, paving is an ongoing thing that you need to do every year, over and over. We've always got something we need to do, plus the stalls. One thing that Kenny sort of hit on there was in 16 and 17, when the rodeo gets here, all the money all the stalls that we have, we will make all the money off the rental of the stalls that we have. So the more stalls we have, the more money we'll make off the rental for the stalls. The rodeo people know that they'll probably have to bring in as many as 1,000 temporary stalls. They expect to do that. They rent tents. They have those brought in here. I think somebody out of Pennsylvania may be the one that does that, provides that for them. But all the permanent stalls that we have, we totally get all the rent off of that, and that could be a significant amount of money if we have 200 stalls.
How many stalls will get you on?
200 stalls would bring in $3,000 a day.
Yeah. So
200 stalls bring in $3,000
That's
a
significant
day.
amount.
Times 10, because that's how long the rodeo lasts, is $30,000.
Yeah, so it's a significant amount of money that it brings in.
How many stalls will $100,000 get you?
I can't answer that.
How many stalls, $100,000 get you?
Uh-huh.
About 100. It'd take a little more than 100,000. They're a little bit over 1,000. They're right around $1,100 piece. Tax stalls we have.
And that's over the roof?
Hmm.
That's the roof over?
That would be under roof. Yeah, we would move to the second stall barn, Jason, to put those under there. Okay? That's where we go with those. Any other questions about that part of the agenda or the report? Okay? All right, Sue's on this committee, so we need to move on into that. If you'll see in the other part of your handout there, we also, the other committee that the chairman appointed was Jeff and Sue and Rick and Joe and myself and Donna to talk about the increase in the rental fees for the accident. You have a handout there in front of you that it talks about that and what's been proposed to do. Sue, Joe, I'm gonna let y'all speak to that if you want to.
We met in Larry's office, he's on the night, had a long discussion about the buildings, and we felt like that they haven't had an increase in quite some time. And it's really not that large of an increase when you look at it, when you compare to other areas. Joliet cost some, I cost some, others I call Perry, Georgia, and Perry's were in line with what we have proposed for the new rental fees. Like I said, it's not that much, but we just felt like it's time that we did need an increase out here. We're losing money. I think there's some other issues that we're going to need again and kind of go over as far as the use of the buildings, maybe tear down, set up different things like that. But this is, I guess, our beginning process with this.
And we're still much cheaper than anybody else, even with the increase.
Yes.
Because Ron and I spent an afternoon calling a lot of the ones right here in Wilson County, and it was amazing how much people charge. And so, I mean, we're like probably still way below most of the other.
That's per day, right? Per day?
Yes.
Jeff?
Well, yeah, did you get your paper? It's all the fees are, you can go down through there, most of them are around $50, some of them are around 75, some are, went up, $25. But the rental grounds were $750 a day, that went up to $1,000 a day. So, we're still trying to remember that this is all tax money funded place, and we still want to keep it up where, just the average person that wanting to build a rent thing could. And so we also want to be, get more self-sufficient than we are now. So that's one of the things, and I believe the whole committee was in agreement that we need to go look and see, because it's been several years since we've had an increase. Never have had an increase since I've been here. Larry said he never had an increase since he's been there. We've been here how long?
Since 2000. We might have a very small increase in one time.
But anyway, so it's something that the committee felt like we needed to do, and on both of these things where the subcommittees looked at, we'll have to get approval from this committee to go forward with. So we should have done this on. Go ahead.
I have two questions, Mr. Chairman. First of all, it doesn't have it on here, but I assume January 1st is going to be the effective date on this?
Yes.
And so anything that's already booked, they got it the old lane, but anything that's called on the January 1st. Second question is, I noticed down here at the bottom, where you have deposits, and it says the Cox cabin, but I do not see the Cox cabin up here at the top.
What's the rent on
It just been said, and so we need to go up. It just got said, but they didn't list
Okay,
it.
should it not be
It should be
included
listed on
on
this.
this?
Well, it's $200. You can get that down at the top cash, $200.
Okay.
And also, some of us didn't realize that there's a lot of agencies that use the facility with no charge. But I think that adding the addition to the agricultural extension office is going to take some of those. I don't know if we're ready to discuss that or not, or that may still be in the talking stages for the committee
Yeah.
on how we're going to discuss that.
I have a question. Would there be a discount if you say rented for, say, more than 3 days or something? No, it's just flat.
The only difference is in that is if you have a large camper, the building rental is prorated as to the number of campers you may have. Now, that's something other than this in our charter and bylaws. So, and that's another thing that we're moving around a lot here tonight. But that's another thing that this committee is going to need to do at some time. For too long, we need to look at we need to go back and look at those policies and procedures that we are now operating under, which I would think James and Hale probably were implemented back sometime when the place was first started in 1970, whatever it was. Those things haven't been changed, the policies So we need to go back and look at those at some time and revisit those and come back with some things that are much more up to date with what we've got, what we're dealing with now.
So the livestock will be,
No.
the same price.
Before we get too far off in the weeds, we heard Kenny's presentation on the proposal that we're gonna send to promotions. And so it needs approval from this committee to be sent. So if anybody has any questions about that, now's the time to bring it up. If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve this and send it on to promotion.
I make a motion to approve it, send it to promotion.
Got a motion? Got a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any other discussion before we vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Now, the building increase, and if you see here at the bottom, we've got vendor fees. And our vendor fees have been $35 since I've been here, I guess since Larry's been here. And we, there was a lot of discussion on the vendor fees more than there was anything else. Because we feel like that we price our buildings cheap enough that we can afford to charge the vendor fees. So the committee thought that $50 was a fair price. And so we've included that in the proposed increase. But having said that, Mr. Tom Williams is here with us today, and I want to give him a chance to speak because he brings in the redneck rumble. He's one of the biggest guys that puts the vendors up on. So he said he's got some concerns he wants to address the committee, and so Mr. Williams, if you want to address the committee, go right ahead.
Let me ask a question for you, President.
Yeah.
Now, vendors fees, is this for people selling concessions, or is it anybody that sets up?
That's for anything, any vendor that sets up, whether they're a food vendor, they're selling sunglasses, t-shirts, whatever.
Okay. So what does it, and that's the same way with gun show, right?
Same way with the guns.
Okay, same way with gun show. And like people putting on, I won't say gun show, do they charge, they get their money off admission, or they charge tables? I would assume they would charge vendor fees.
They do,
They
a
do.
lot more than $50.
Okay.
If we'll let Mr. Williams speak, he'll address some of the questions they've had.
Well, I can't speak to the gun show itself, but I know my vendor fee is $75, of which I pay you guys $35. And I realize your facilities, I do 8 shows a year, Crossville, Nashville, Murfreesboro. And your guys, your facility is a little different in that everywhere else, I pay a flat fee. I showed Jeff here this, when I used the National Fairgrounds and racetrack, it cost me $1,500. I paid no extra fees, that's all inclusive. That's everything inside of the infield, the parking lot, the pit area, and the racetrack, when people actually get to drive on the racetrack. The problem I have with increasing, I've been a vendor myself for about 25 years now. The people that I have come into the shows, when I charge them $75, their median price is probably $10 or $15. And they're not selling the big ticket items like I know one of the shows was brought up where they're charging probably $500 or whatever. Those guys, if they're charging $300, $400 for their products, then the sales are about equal. Right now at $75, and I'm talking shows all over the eastern part of the United States, I am at just about at the top of the price. Most of them are $55. I know they keep car club here. I come here and set up for that myself. They're not charging as much as I am. During the Red Row, I paid you guys $14,000, almost $15,000 last year. That's almost 1,000% of what I go to Nashville and do the same show for. So, But that being said, it's different because you guys have the buildings individually. I don't think you're out of line on your buildings per se. Just say, if I rented just one building, I don't think you're out of line even with your increases. But when I come and during the Redneck Rumble, I rent all the buildings. I don't use them, but I pay for them. That's because there's no way for me to have somebody else do an event. And we have this problem every year of, there's something going on in the grove or whatever. Then I've got all kinds of people coming and saying, well, I'm going to that event, I'm not going to yours, so they don't want to pay the fee to get in. And that's something we have to try to police. By the time they get in with, that many people here, they're gone. I don't know if there's some way that you guys could look at more of a flat fee for the whole thing or whatever. But my biggest problem is, especially, there's shows I offer to bring 3 other shows here if you guys get the building. Expo done that I do inside in Murfreesboro and Calsonic and Shelbyville. But if it's, that's going to be the fees, and it's just not doable. I had to cancel a show that I've done here for 4 years with your guys' increase here just because it's not viable to do in October of next year. I won't be able to do it here.
Well, we grandfathered him in for 2015, I thought.
Well, I mean for 16. I'm not telling them this year. I'm going to do it this year, but it's already the fees and everything. The show's so small that it's just not, it's not making money.
So let me see, you said that you're paying us $14,000
I paid
Per show.
$14,940
per show?
for the Redneck Rumble. Now the smaller shows are not that high.
Okay,
But-
you're paying us $14,000, but you're only paying the Speedway of $1,500?
That's $1,500. But if
Is
you
that
guys
what
have
you're doing here? I don't know.
Why? Because you guys, okay, I paid for all the buildings, the arena, the covered arena, camping. They don't have a separate, if I have campers down there, they don't have a separate fee.
They don't have, do they have camping?
They do have camping, it's not as much. And honestly, the camping, is not that important to me if they, at the Redneck Rumble this year, all y'all's hotels were full. We had people from 27 states and Canada this year. So, I feel like we're bringing, a good crowd to the town, and that's good for the town. But, I don't want to stay here. I'm not saying that we're going away, but I was hoping that, we could do something with a smaller show. If I'm paying $50 and I'm having to charge those guys $100 now instead of the $75, like on the smaller ones, the racetrack show that I did over there, was only charging those guys $55 because we only have 400 people. It's just not making enough. In September this year, we had almost 8,000.
And your vendors didn't make much?
Well, the problem is when you got that many vendors, it kind of gets saturated. Not every person is going to go and buy something from every vendors. But the thing is, like I said, I can't get outside of what the standard, is. And these guys travel all over the states to sell. I can't say, well, we're charging $400 when everybody else is charging, $75.
How much is your entry fee for the women?
It's $15 per person.
So 8,000 people pay $15?
Yes, but I spend, my expense this year will cost $80,000 by the time I pay advertising, the rental, the sheriff's deputy, insurance, and that's all before the show happens. If it rains, we're out of that money. Of course, but, I just, like I said, the Calsonic Arena is $2,000 a day. They don't have a vendor fee, or anything like that. So, it's just the way that y'all are set up versus the other ones where, there I don't have to contend with anybody else renting a spot, so I don't have to pay you the extra bills spots. But for a small show, like if the truck show that I started last year, if I would have to pay these fees, it just didn't happen because they can't get off the ground. And I'm afraid that that's gonna hurt bringing new shows in. I don't know, that's probably what I think.
We appreciate, we appreciate you, wanting to be here. We want you here.
Well, it's like I told you, I live in Walker Hill, but I've lived in MtJuliet for years, and this is where I want to be. I've got people calling, want me to move the show, but to me, I'd rather stay in my home area. I don't want to go anywhere else, so hopefully we can get something worked out. And I want to do here more. I want you guys to build that building on their side of the
We won't build it too.
We're gonna try our best to do it for you. Well, there's, I guess the concern Mr. Williams has, and he's the only one here, I'm sure that all these other vendors would have the same concern. We were talking about earlier when they had the Christmas, what they call it?
Wilson Living Expo.
Wilson Living Expo, and they got, like $500-600 for a vending spot. So $15 don't really hurt them,
Now, what's their median sale of an item?
They just have little cracks and they're pretty, nothing big. $10 to maybe 100, maybe around.
So, but I guess what I'm getting at is, if you're gonna spend $600 on a booth, you sell a whole lot of that little $10 crack. And,
Not necessarily.
well,
Still applies to them,
it-
rain,
it may not.
bad weather, they do it more for marketing, like to get their name out there, probably if it's a business or something like that, but,
So,
but they're only paying $50. I mean, they're paying $35 just like, everybody else.
yeah, and every vendor's gonna come in here and pay $35. And so, I said all that to say this, it's gonna affect some folks differently than does somebody else. If you're paying $500 for a booth, $15 ain't gonna make you break it.
But Jeff, that's just like these buildings. I rented a building for a family reunion for $175, and we didn't even have 75 people that came to the reunion, but we still had to pay $175. We didn't get a break because it was a family reunion, I think we have to, it's hard to make rules for everybody
Right.
that fit into the mold. So you have to either, you have to decide.
Yeah, well, and that's what we're gonna do tonight, but, there was, like I say, there was a lot of discussion over those vendor fees, and my side didn't win. But, anyway,
So every event comes on out here that's got a vendor set up, pays $35.
yeah,
Every event.
everyone.
For every vendor.
And it's always been $35.
With the exclusion of the back.
Yeah, fair. But,
But
those,
those that are in the charter, like the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, all that, they don't pay vendor fee.
right.
Right. There's several that do not pay that.
If, it's like, if, well, a gun show, it's usually a gun show. The gun show comes in, he's got 75 people to set up and have tables with guns on. And they pay those 75 people, we get $35 too. If he's got somebody out there selling hot dogs, we're gonna get that, $35 back. But let me say this before we hold on and discuss it any further. We're in the business of bringing people to Wilson County, not Rowan Falls. And so, politics is, some folks don't like compromise, I always have. And so, we went up on the building fees, not a whole lot, but we went up. And, and the vendor fees, not only was Mr. Williams been here, the vendor fees was a big hang up when we were in our committee. So, it just, amongst us, was a big hang up on the vendor fees. So, it's up to this committee whether they want to leave the vendor fees like they are, or raise them to $50, or, leave the buildings like they are, or raise those up. So, it's something this committee has to decide. But, when you make a decision, I would hope that you think, that, we're, doing it, to help out the accident, help
Did the subcommittee recommend 35 to 50?
Yes.
They did.
I move to approve the subcommittee's recommendation.
Got a motion to approve, and you got a second?
Second.
Got a second back there? All right, any discussion?
I would think that the ground rent was too cheap for the entire fire. That's not even half what I was building there for.
Well, if you rent a building, you pay for that too. That's just if you just rent space.
Oh, so the ground rent was not all the buildings?
That's just space, that's just space up there.
Okay, everything, sorry.
Let me say a little bit about, we discussed, still discussing about the benefits. I don't know, and we discussed this when our committee met about how it would have more of an impact on some than it would on others. But I want to tell you a little bit about Tom's show. Whenever he first started this show, I can't remember what year it was or how long it's been, but
This was not.
this was the 9th year. 9 years ago, when he first started his show, I think we had something like 65 or 70 cars. And I told Tom, I said, Tom, if you'll stay with this, it's going to grow. You're going to grow it. I witnessed that with other events that we had out here. You see what's happened over the 9 years, how much of his show has grown during that time. This year, he had right out 1,000 cars. Some close to it. So we've gone from having 75, 80 cars to this year drawing about 1,000. And like he said, he's bringing people in here from everywhere. I didn't realize he had 23 states represented.
We had 27, and we had 2 guys drove down from Canada.
So, I mean, he's bringing a lot of people here. Mr. Chairman, I don't know whether that we could, whether we ought to look at what vendors are charging, what people are charging their vendors, and prorate it as to a little bit as to what we're charging. I don't know whether the committee would want to think about something like that. An event where they're charging $300 for a booth space, you got 2 booth spaces, they're charging you 6. Like it's been said before, that's not a lot. This increase is not much for them. But you take a guy that's coming in here with a few old antique car wheels, rims, and some old hubcaps, and some stuff like that. That's quite a bit change. So,
I think what we should do on it, and I know we did this, we did this when we first started out here with all these buildings. But I think we need, you know, it's good if we got this fee here, but we gotta leave it up to the director on to handle it according to each event that's coming out here. If we want to keep this thing going like it's going, I think we need to leave an opening here to where Larry, when these people come in here and contract a thing, he's gonna know what's what.
Well, and you're right, when Larry got that problem, this committee's getting that in order to do that. I think what this is just a guideline to go by.
That's what I'm saying.
And so that's, you know, it's also, what we voted on a while ago. I mean, it ain't in stone, that's just a guideline of what we want, you know. So, I mean, that's basically what all this stuff is, because this really give Larry the authority to make calls like that and to do something. But we don't have to be notified every time we've got something going on, so. Any more discussion?
Yeah, for the vote, right, so we're saying, we're going with the subcommittee, says $50 and everything. But we're giving Larry the leeway, if he decides Redneck Rumble should be $35 a vendor, he can go $35 a vendor, is that what we're saying?
What we're saying here, we're voting on these fees right here. And Larry, we're not giving Larry anything. Larry's already had the authority to make the deal, to bring folks in, you know.
Okay.
And, so, no, we're not giving Larry the authority, no. That's not even part of it.
Okay.
discussion? Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? All right, appreciate it. Go on to the next one.
All right, now we get into the accident report. We've done the subcommittee. Just like to make everybody aware that Lebanon Electric has been on the site for the last week or two, drilling holes and setting, hadn't set any poles yet, but getting ready to do some upgrades on the electricity so we can be prepared for what's going to happen in 16 and 17. So they're out here working. We've got promotions as voted to put up to give us money to help with those electric repairs that we're doing. So we're moving on along with that. I would think that sometime after the first year we get back off the holidays that we'll start working on making those electrical hookups and things, water that we need to get ready for what we've got to do. And the holiday expo, I got in here on my report too. It was a very successful event. Those ladies put on a fine show. We were happy to have them here. They seemed to be real pleased with everything that happened. And, it was a good event for us. And Quentin, are we? You got anything you'd like to say, or you want me to say it, or you want to tell it? Or?
We got another 5 years on aggregation in here,
So, thanks to Quentin and his group, they a week ago, and they voted and agreed to extend their contract with us for the Tennessee beef aggregation through 2021. So we're awfully proud about that, and that's a tremendous thing. Like we talk about bringing people in here, they put people in the hotels, and they eat in our restaurants. And that's what it's all about. I think I may have already told you all this, but we have got the F-100 Ford Nationals will be here in May. Is that right, Ms. Donna?
Yes.
They'll be here in May. We're already receiving calls from people all over the country. Had a call just this week from a gentleman, last week, from a gentleman in Scottsdale, Arizona. Wanted to know how much room we had where he could park. He's bringing in a motor home and a trailer all together. I think he said he had 75 feet of stuff that he needed to park. Had two gentlemen come into the office about 3 weeks ago from over in Clemson, South Carolina, that was coming through down I-40 and said they saw the exit 239, Lebanon, Tennessee, Ward Ag Center, and said there were two brothers, and one of them said he looked at the other one and he said, hey, that's where the F-100 Nationals is going to be. Let's go by and check it out. So there's people, I really believe it's probably going to be a huge show. But, so they'll be here. Of course, we got the Country Living magazine show that's coming in April. I keep all my dates mixed up. Coming in April. Donna has been working on that. I don't guess a day goes by that she doesn't have some kind of correspondence with them or somebody connected with that show, want to know about things and what's going on. And Donna, you want to tell us about what all, who y'all have been talking to, what they thinking?
We're just still working on logistics right now. They're just still asking questions and wanting to know about health department and vendors. Because a lot of their vendors will have food that you can taste and buy prepackaged food. So we're all that out. We're just real excited about them coming.
Yes. They're expecting, and when we talk about, large crowds and the scheme of things, and we're used to what the fair draws and the amount of people that they deal with, but these folks are looking at drawing 9,000 to excited about coming, and hopefully we can make it be a good host and make it want to come back. We're gonna be a good host. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, Donna, you got anything else?
No, sir.
Anything you want to talk about? That's about it for my report.
Mr. A. Moss, Village Grove.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'll try to talk slow and loud. Appreciate being here. Everybody has a great Christmas. Village Grove, it's all decked out for the festival lights. If you get a chance to drive up through there. Cowboy Church is meeting on Tuesday nights during so they're here with the,
We got Cowboy Church tonight, 7 o'clock.
yeah, 7 o'clock, yeah, everybody can come. Couple of things, James will mention this in a minute, in that fair newsletter you got from the convention. On the second page there's a photo of the train museum that was a first place winner in Las Vegas last week. The display in the old depot up there, the Custer's Gap, and there's all those pictures in color. You can enjoy seeing those there and share that if you like on that. I think we all send good wishes to Terry's here, I think, but Helen had a little medical procedure done this morning. She's not able to be here tonight, so we're doing that. One other thing I would like to ask you about, we have, all of you are familiar with Woodman of the World, who put up a flagpole for us over at the new covered arena. They have a grant program that people can apply for, and we have had some discussions with them about some funding to help put an addition onto the town hall building over in Fiddler's Grove, which is a building that's directly across from the Veterans Building. It would add a restroom to that building and a little something where a caterer could operate in there and do a meal. And we'd like to ask the committee tonight to, if you could approve that concept so we can talk to them some more about that. Anything that was going to be done would come back here with a set of plans for your approval and that kind of stuff. It's all got to be worked out and that kind of thing and all that thing. And it's roughly, it would be a 16-foot by 24-foot addition on the back of the town hall building, would let it be used for, right now the wood carvers meet there on a monthly basis, and UT Extension uses it a lot, and that kind of thing, and make that building a lot more accessible for usage. It's over there by different organizations, that kind of stuff. If we possibly could approve that, so we can proceed with talking to them about that, we would appreciate that very much.
Does everybody have a copy of sort of what they're looking at?
There's a rough drawing.
Yeah, rough drawing. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a log building that's right across from the Veterans Building. And I think during the fair, don't you have bells picking or something to do something down in there?
The taxidermy exhibits in there during the fair, and
Something like that.
the wine shows in there. That building was donated by the Old Timer Log Homes in memory of Commissioner Gentry.
Yeah.
After he passed away sort of unexpectedly several years ago.
Well, I think anytime we can improve our buildings like this, and have somebody else want to do that, it's a good idea. And this is the concept, and they're asking us for approval so they can move forward to get their plans drawn up and bring it back to us. Chair, entertain a motion to do that.
Move approved.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
A motion, any more discussion? All in,
Yes, sir. I got something else. Hell, you said it was gonna be on the back of the building. According to your drawing here, it'll be on the west side of the building. It'll be.
I think that's still being discussed there, yeah. As some of that has to do with how it was fit in there with the other buildings also.
I looked at that today, and just as I was walking around observing what I thought that it would probably have to be on the west side.
Yeah.
Because you only have about 20-something feet between the back of the building and that little Doris Bland shed, whatever it is. On the other side, you have to go, you could be going toward the Circle Drive, so it's probably gonna have to be on the west side. But my only concern with that, is it wouldn't go back far enough that you would block off going over to the Orange Springs gazebo.
Gazebo, I don't think so.
Okay, all right, that's the only question I have.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, Mr. Hill.
Thank you, sir.
You got anything else, Dave?
No, that's,
Okay.
question.
We'll move on to the fire report, Mr. Spears.
Thank you. Well, fire coming down was been fair, everybody enjoyed it, we enjoyed putting it on. We want to say again, we appreciate all the support we have from this committee, when we are trying to put this thing together. We don't do it for us, we do it for the county, and all of us are, to make everybody have a good time while they're here. And talking about the fair, where our attendance was down this year, several thousand people, and that directly relates to dollars, and dollars are down this year too. We don't know, and it's premature for us to try to say right now exactly what our property is going to be. We still pay $30,000 worth of bills this week. So we're still paying all the bills from the fair. By the end of the year, I think we've got them all just about in. We do have money, we'll have a little money we're going to spend, and try to spend it with y'all and make things work between us. Our main project this year is, I think the key behind me, what I go after, I'm not sure. The road, the new entrance, we're dedicated to make that road happen and happen the way it needs to be. As soon as we can come up with a price on what that road's going to cost us, we'll know a little bit about what's left to try to do some other stuff here on the ground. We're working with the road department, and it's going to work out. I know it sometimes those wheels just turn a little slower than you'd like to see them turn, and getting the price over what it's going to cost us to do it. I mean, they told us they're going to do it for us. If their cost, we kind of let them know what their cost might be. So we put those numbers together. We do have one other project that as a committee we approved a couple of months ago, being the Veterans Building, and our wish, and we did go ahead and vote to do it here, I think, to make this back entrance turn into a main entrance coming in, where if there was an event going on in Federer's Grove, and Larry had the Veterans Building ready, cars aren't all parked around in Federer's Grove, we do some paving on this side with some parking and change this entrance on this side. We got money set aside to do that. And after those two projects are done, we'll see what's left. We're already working on the grounds, electrical upgrades and stuff, so we'll know more about it, I'm sure, by January, but right now, we're still paying bills and trying to order right on through and get ready for another marathon next year. The convention in Las Vegas has come and went. It was last weekend for part of this week. We sent 2 delegates down. We had a good year in Las Vegas. If y'all will read in the paper, the Wilson County Fair did better on what we entered in, I think, than we ever have in years past. I think that says something for Wilson County, the Wilson County Fair. We're one of the biggest and one of the best. We think we are the biggest and best, but you know, Wilson County Fair name, even as far down as Las Vegas, people know who it is. We're not a baby in this business of fair business. We're well known, well respected. here in Tennessee State. Right now, I think that would be all my report, unless there's questions.
Any questions for Mr. Perry? All right, I've got one thing that I wanted to tell you, starting in January, Barry's been talking to some of them, and we're gonna get with the Department of Agriculture, Department of Interior, DDOT, about starting to put quarterly figures together about the rodeo coming up. And one of the things that this committee has asked for this Department of Agriculture, we requested through the Ag Enhancement Program, the capital project side of it, is some money to help out to beef up and spruce up the Ag Center through the Ag Enhancement. One of the things we talked about is build another building out there for ongoing agriculture and other kind of things